Hello, everyone. You're listening to TurkSoccer.com's Turkish Football Podcast. My name is Ahmet Turgut. Welcome to a brand new edition of Turkish Football Podcast. We're going to be talking about the midweek games for Turkish teams in the European competitions. What a Tuesday. We'll talk about the Thursday. Not so good Thursday, though. But first, who would believe if someone told you before Galatasaray-Juventus match that being down 2-1 in the first half, Galatasaray comes back and beats Italian giant team Juventus 5-2. Well, that happened. Galatasaray made the history, and actually, this was the huge score. First time in ever their history of records, they scored 5 goals in the Champions League match. Now, there's 2 halves we're going to talk about it. The first half and the second half. But I tell you, Galatasaray pretty much destroyed 10-man Juventus in the second half. Until 67th minute, Juventus was playing with 11 men. In the 67th minute, one of their players, Juan Cabal, at the 67th minute, got a second yellow card, and he was out. And after 67 minutes, until the end of the match, Juventus was with 10 men. That is not the question, though, that we're going to be talking about. I think the second half, in the second half of 45 minutes, Galatasaray scored 4 goals. We need to talk about that. And also, I'm going to start talking about the first half of the match. Even though Galatasaray scored first in the 15th minute by Gabriel Sara, probably the best player in the first half. Also, in the second half, he was the match of the player at the end of the match. Right after Sara's goal in the 16th minute, Juventus came back, tied the match with Cup Miners. And then he scored another goal in the 32nd minute. And the half ended 2-1 while Juventus was up. And they were still with 11 men. The one thing, I think the coach of Juventus, when they put the first 11 out there, they did not have a striker. Turkish star Kenan Yıldız was on the sideline, actually playing on the wings. He could not perform well because they were playing 4-3-3 formats. They did not have any striker playing against Galatasaray. The second half was totally different. That's when Galatasaray destroyed Juventus. Galatasaray came back in the second half with NoaLang, the new addition to the team, the Dutch player. Very young, very active. In the 49th minute, made the score 2-2. Later on, in the 60th minute, Sanchez, the defender, one of the best players on the Galatasaray team, scored a goal, and Galatasaray went up 3-2. Right after that goal, 7 minutes later, as I told you before, Juan Cabal received the second yellow card. With the red card, he was out of the match. Now, after being a man down, Galatasaray was pressuring. One thing we saw over here, even though Victor Osimhen did not score, but he was involved in every goal that Galatasaray scored on Tuesday. He hustled, bustled all over the field, on defense, in the midfield, and up front. Victor Osimhen, I think he had 2 assists in this match. He was probably, if you ask me, he was the player of my in this match. Now, after 74 minutes, and NoaLang again scored. NoaLang had 2 goals in this match. It was the 74th minute. It was 4-2. And then substitution came in. Sacha Boya came in the game in the 86th minute. Sacha Boya made it 5-2. Galatasaray, with the new transfers coming into the team, when you look at the depth on the bench, that relieved Okanburuk's hand very, very much so. Because when you look to the bench, you have players like Sané, who came in to the game as a substitution. Ilkay Gündoğan did not play. There are many players that was sitting, did not play in this match. Zingo did not play. So the depth in Galatasaray team on the bench helped Okanburuk and also Galatasaray. Now after this 5-2 win in Istanbul, pretty much in the second leg, they're going to be going to Italy next Tuesday, and they have a 75% to make it to a round of 16 in the Champions League, unless something very stupid happens, because there's 3 goals difference, even though you never know, because the second leg match is not played yet. So with a good plan of Okanburuk's plan, I think Galatasaray has pretty good chance to go around of the 16 in the Champions League. Congratulations to them. Congratulations, because I think, well, not only they won this match, also they put points to Turkey's in the next years in the European competition. That's very important. In the standings right now, Turkey looks like they're in the ninth place. As we stand right now, there will be one team going directly to Champions League next season too. Again, congratulations to Okanburuk and Galatasaray officials and the Galatasaray fans and Galatasaray team, because what they did, even though in the winter window transfer season with these new players coming in, they're like NoaLang and Barış Alper Yılmaz on the right, NoaLang on the left, and you have striker Osimhen, and Icardi even came in the second half too. So in two matches, one in the domestic league, they played before this match, they beat Eyüpspor and they scored 5 goals. And the Champions League match, they scored another 5 goals. 10 goals in 2 matches. That's huge. And what is huge is the world media is talking about Galatasaray destroying Juventus. That is a big recognition for Galatasaray and Turkey and Turkish football, if you ask me. Let's hope that they keep this up next Tuesday when they travel to Italy to face Juventus again in the second leg match. Not so good news on Thursday. Thursday started with Fenerbahce, who represents Turkey in the Europa League, playing at home with a full house, 12 man. I'm going to tell you one thing, that 12 man for Galatasaray fans did not stop at all on Tuesday. You have to give big applause for them too. Just like Fenerbahce fans, when they start the match, they were on their feet. They were supporting Fenerbahce, their teams. But what happened is Fenerbahce did not show up for this match. With the new transfers, Conte and all of the other stars just didn't want to play this match, I guess. Nottingham Forest scored 3 goals and beat Fenerbahce 3-0 in Istanbul, with the goals from Murillo in the 21st minute, Jesus in the 43rd minute, and White in the 50th minute. So things are not looking good for Fenerbahce in the second leg match in England. That's all I have to say. And in the Conference League, Samsunspor, who represents Turkey in the Conference League, went to North Macedonia to face Shakan and they beat Shakan 1-0 with in the 70th minute Mondi Maji's goal. So that is a good score, good result for Samsunspor in the second leg match when they will be playing in Samsun. So again, congratulations to Samsunspor and a team that represents Turkey, the only team that represents Turkey in the Champions League, Galatasaray. That was the talk of the in this midweek. Again, congratulations to them. Well, let's come back to our mother league. The Turkish Super Lig will start on today on Friday, week 23. It will be one match. Rizespor will be at home against Kocaelispor. And Saturday, there's 3 matches. Eyüpspor will be at home against Gençler Birliği. And Alanyaspor will host Başakşehir. And Konyaspor will host Galatasaray. And that's probably Konyaspor with 20 points, who is in the relegation zone, danger zone. And tired Galatasaray should have no problem. But Konyaspor is desperate for points. Look for Konyaspor to steal maybe a point. But the team that who is full of stars, Galatasaray, should have no problem. On Sunday, there are 4 matches. Kayserispor will host Antalyaspor. Gaziantep will be at home against Trabzonspor. Fatih Karagümrük will host Samsunspor. And Beşiktaş will host Göztepe. Now, that's got to be the match of the weekend, because that is pretty much for the 4th place. In the case that Trabzonspor loses point on Sunday and Beşiktaş or Göztepe will be very close to Trabzonspor for the 3rd place race. So the 3rd place race right now is up for grabs between Trabzonspor, Göztepe, and Beşiktaş. Monday, the team that played their match on Thursday in the Europa Cup, Fenerbahce, will be at home against another Istanbul team, Kasımpaşa. So week 23rd will end on Monday. So if Galatasaray wins their match, the gap on top will be still 6 points until Monday when Fenerbahce faces Kasımpaşa. So overall, in the midweek matches in the Europe, Galatasaray was successful. They destroyed Juventus. Fenerbahce went down big time, and they lost at home against Nottingham Forest. Their chances to making it to a round of 16 in the Europa League pretty slim. And Samsunspor won their match. They're going to be pretty good shape in the Conference League. Again, you're listening to TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football Podcast. My name is Ahmet Bob Turgut. Wherever you do, listen to my podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, what kind of app you have. Also, visit me on X at Turkish Soccer. Also, you could follow me on Facebook, Turkish Soccer, Turkish Football page. Please follow the Facebook page, like it. Also, you can follow me on Instagram for up-to-minute news and all sorts of stuff from Turkish Super Lig and Turkish football. So, this program ends now. We'll talk to you after week 23 happens. And my name is Ahmet Bob Turgut. You've been listening to TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football Podcast.